Hey, Nosyjoe here. As promised, today I'm going to do a full review on a 21 Ram TRX. This is a kind of a off-road oriented pickup truck that the FCA is making. I guess to answer the Raptor, but it more than does that. Obviously, if you look at the specs, 702 horsepower. I'm probably going to say that a few times. But first, let's just see how it goes through the drive-through. So real even-mannered, mild-mannered going through the drive-through for such a monstrous beast of a truck. So going to give it a 5 out of 5 stars on drive-through capability. All right. Next stop, we're going to head out to a park after I eat my breakfast. All right, let's head to the park. One reason I think this thing is so mild-mannered, easy to drive when you're just, heading around the neighborhood or out to the coffee shop is it's got 7 or 8 different drive modes, and we'll explore that a little bit later. But right now I just have it in the automatic drive mode, where I guess it just kind of senses what's the best based on the type of driving you're doing. So we're going to keep it in that for right now. First thing I want to do with you guys is just show you around the interior and show you the features, give you my commentary on that, and a lot of information from the brochure that you would get. All right, let's talk about the interior features and some of the controls available inside the truck. Go ahead and start it up. You guys can see the screen there. Got the readout on the miles per gallon. I was talking about it getting 10.5, which I was pretty happy with. Side view of the truck there. So, just standard stuff. It's got a tach and temperature readout. Looks like we're running about 14 volts on the battery, which is good, and a little under 50 psi on the oil pressure. I noticed when I was cruising around it was about 50. It's got a outdoor temperature, 75 degrees right now. It's got tells us what direction we're going, southeast, compass. Here on the right side is your standard gas gauge and speedometer. So pretty standard stuff. Moving to the steering wheel, you just got menu controls and your phone controls here. Also got your cruise control. I was teasing when we did the last Mopar that it takes them 5 buttons to do cruise, which I still think is kind of funny. I noticed as I was driving, this truck has like lane departure warning and things like that as well that come up on the screen. This is a fob type vehicle. You just keep it in your pocket and you can just get your push button start. You got your aluminum paddle shifters. They do talk about that in the literature, that it is aluminum. They are aluminum, so that's a big deal, I guess. And that it has a flat bottom steering wheel. First time offered in a Ram pickup. Kind of moving off to the right, you get the different driving modes, which I'll talk about a little bit more here in a second. Your transmission, whether you want it in 4-wheel drive or lock or low or high. This is also a unique feature on the TRX, is this launch control, and this basically just allows you to hit it and get it and hook up and not lose control. Particularly impressive to me, I think, is this really nice big control screen here in the middle. Of course, you got all your standard controls. You can your media, climate, all your apps. But let's look at the controls. I saw some interesting things here. If you want to, you can just show what your backup camera is looking at right now without having to put it in reverse, or the forward camera, or the surround camera. So I thought that was pretty cool. Able to look out all your cameras. Maybe if you were off-roading and wanting to see if you were close to a big rock, like I am, make sure you weren't gonna hit it. That would be very helpful to be able to look at that. Again, you can see behind you, around you. I don't say that's unique to the TRX. That's probably just as you get into more modern cars, some of the features they have, but I thought that was pretty neat. Moving down here, if we can get it in view, there's all kinds of charger ports, USB, and then I don't know if that's called micro USB. It's a smaller charger style. Got an auxiliary port there. You got your trailer brake controls here, places to put auxiliary lighting and such wired into those switches. So that's nice and handy. I've had a truck once that had the integrated trailer brakes, and that was nice. And then reading through the literature, it says some trucks are available with some type of trailer backing up, like when you're trying to back up with the trailer, some type of control for that, some type of a knob here, which I don't even understand. I suppose I don't think you can break. I don't even know how that would work. You can't break individual tires on the trailer, I don't think so. If you can't back up a trailer, maybe you shouldn't be buying a big old truck. That's my wisdom and advice. Okay, just give a little more general overview of the interior. One thing all TRXs have is a Harman Kardon stereo system. 19 speakers. 19 speaker Harman Kardon stereo system. Very impressive. I haven't really checked that out yet. You can see how the seats are stitched, showing the TRX badging. Electric seats. You got the badge identifying which TRX this is. TRX everywhere. It's on the glove box. There's an upper and lower glove box. See how the door panels are stitched. Kind of going into the back seat. Back seat area, plenty of leg room. I don't know if this is an option or not, but he's got the heavy duty rubber floor mats in the rear as well. Looks like we got really good charging station for the back seat passengers or back seat drivers. Big old speakers in the door back here too, all part of that 19 speaker system. Looks like it's got a sliding rear glass, which is a neat thing to have. Well, there's some more of those speakers up above. So that's all really cool. And that's the interior. Okay, let's look at the exterior of the truck. I really haven't given you a full view, so this is a neat one. It's a kind of a two-tone silver and black. Nice colors, kind of understated a little bit with the black wheels. Got the 6.2 supercharged Hemi badging. One of the first things they mentioned in the brochure is it does have a functional hood scoop, and it's got some LED lights coming out of there. That probably looks pretty badass at night. Got the grille, wide fenders. The fenders protrude 8 inches out, and you can kind of see that on the front and the rear, and that kind of makes these an identifiable truck compared to the regular Ram trucks, is kind of how wide those fenders are. Give it a side view, and really I think that makes it great looking. A lot more shape to it, not so boxy. so I like that. It's got a high performance exhaust. It's a big old duals for you. Of course, you see the trailer hitch there. 35-inch Goodyear tires. So that would be the height. The actual size of them is an LT 325 65 18. So about the biggest I've ever had on a truck's 305s on an old Z71. So 325s. So a little bit more about the suspension. Ground clearance is at 11.8 inches and 13-inch front suspension travel and 14-inch rear suspension travel. So I don't know of any production truck that's got those kind of numbers. It's possible, so don't quote me, but that is a whole lot of suspension travel on an unmodified truck. So let's talk about the drive modes as I just do a walk around, because I'm not going to be able to try them all out. But you got sport mode, which is going to be your, you know, driving quickly around on pavement. It tightens up the suspension when you're in sport mode. Then you got snow mode. This does a 45-55 torque split, managing engine horsepower so you're not slipping. You got a custom mode, which is something that you as the user get to set up and tailor it to your needs. It's got a mud and sand mode, just what it says. It's also a 45-55 split. Rock mode. TRX shifts to an extra low gear ratio and uses a 50-50 torque split. Then you got Baja mode. Baja mode is when you're in the sand and reduces shift times by 68%, so it really softens up the shifting and lets the suspension go to a full-on damping. So these modes, if you're paying attention, are engine, transmission, and suspension oriented, which is kind of like, you know, some of these dual sport bikes or adventure bikes have that type of thing. And that's it. So that should be 8 different modes if you were counting. Very cool. I think I would want to tailor my own, or just use sport all the time. All right, next I want to talk about just my impressions of the exterior. I'm kind of a body and paint guy. Whenever I judge at car shows and stuff, I'm going to tell you about some of the things I look for when I'm judging a vehicle for high quality build. So let's do a walk around and see what I can find, kind of pick it apart. This is me being picky. Most customers wouldn't notice these things. Okay, I've kind of went over the standard brochure information. I'm just going to go over things that I notice about the truck as I do a walk around. Tow hooks. It does have a protective, I don't know if you can see it well, but it does have a protective film up front. I don't know if that was standard or optional. On most vehicles, that's an option. Just kind of judging the fit and finish. Nothing really stands out except for one thing on the whole truck, and that's this left rear door. It's inboard to the cab at the top, and then it's outboard at the bottom. And I checked the right rear door, and it is not like that. So it's what you would call underflush at the top, which is not what you want for wind noise and stuff. So I don't know why they did that, but all the other door fits are pretty good. And the problem is with fixing that is whenever you fit body panels, you would start here with the rear door and then work forward, and then the same with the other side. So you really can't fix that fit condition without then having to refit the front door and refit the door to fender, and then ultimately you're gonna refit the hood. So otherwise the gaps are reasonable. Head does sit a little bit low up front. It's a little bit forward. Kind of goes from a wide condition to a tight condition. I'm kind of a body and paint person, so those are the things I notice when I'm judging any car at a car show or whatnot. So the passenger side fit is good. Kind of looking at these panels, I guess they're steel. The hood felt like maybe it wasn't. The hood feels plastic to me. Bed feels metal. I don't know. I did check the gaps, bed to cab. It is a little tighter on the passenger side than the driver's side. I'll show you that. I can actually get my fingers in there, but that's pretty damn close. I wouldn't complain about that. I'd say overall fit and finish is real good on the exterior, except for this door right here, which is a shame because it would take a lot of refitting to fix that. Come on, FCA, you can do better. Okay, if you're interested in the bed, this appears just to be a kind of the standard short box, which I believe around 6.5 foot nowadays. The owner of this one has put a trifold cover on there. It's an Armor Flex by Undercover. So looking at the bed, it does have the factory coating on it, sprayed-in bed liner. And then this one happens to have kind of the slidable U-track lockdowns, which is nice. So you can put those any position you want and lock things down. So other than that, pretty standard. I like these trifold covers because you can flip them up and then flip them up. It does impede your rear view. But the neatest thing about them is it adds a level of security so that when you lock up your truck, there's really no way to get in there, because you have to open the bed and then pull these levers underneath to open up the bed cover. And it being a hard bed cover is very secure. So I've had one of those on my truck before, not that brand but a different one, but I really do like that. All right, I think we're ready to go for a drive.